the Broncos improved to 2-2. They go 2-0 on their East Coast road trip, knocking off the Jets 10-9 in a Zach Wilson revenge game, also a Nathaniel Hackett revenge game. So a lot of revenge going on here, but this was a game that felt like neither team wanted to win, and that's mostly because of the rain and the kickers. And the last two are very much tied together with the kickers and the rain. But yeah, 10-9, not a very fun watch if we're all being honest with one another. But in the NFL, a win is a win. And for this Broncos team to pick up 2 wins on the road across the country after starting off 0-2, rightfully so, this fan base felt like, hey, this might not be a fruitful season for the Broncos after the way things started. And they have quickly rallied and responded in Tampa and in New York with back-to-back wins. So let me give you my thoughts and my reaction to this game and just talk about some of the big storylines coming out of this game as well, including some Tyler Badie injury news, which kind of leads us right into the Broncos offense. Finally, a ground game, and it wasn't what we thought it would be. 28 carries, 136 yards. Badie unfortunately did fumble, but the potential bigger loss here is he was stretchered off the field if you missed it. No concrete update one way or the other. Javonte Williams somewhat hinted that he's going to be okay, so hopefully that is the case, but very scary moment still for Tyler Badie. But Javonte Williams, he answered the call. I mean, by far the best game of his season. 16 carries, 77 yards. Same goes for highlight reel Jaleel, 9 carries, 46 yards. So the ground game, much, much better today, and it had to be better when it was tough to throw the football, as Bo Nix struggled like Aaron Rodgers for much of the game. I mean, Bo Nix today, his stat line might not look like a winning quarterback, 12 for 25, 60 yards, 1 touchdown, but I'll tell you something he did a lot better than three-time MVP Aaron Rodgers. He took a lot fewer sacks. Bo Nix, I don't know if he consciously decided this or just happy to have this happen in this game, but this was a game of field position, right? And that was evident at the end of the game. 50-yard field goal was really tough in these conditions. But Will Lutz, 47-yarder, that was makeable. So for for Bo Nix to give his offense a chance and give his kicker a chance, more importantly, but also give his defense plenty of runway behind them, that was pretty much the difference maker in this game. I mean, there were some other really big plays and big spots. P.J. Locke with that sack on 4th down, you're starting to see an identity form a little bit. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets offense had nothing going all day. Some passes, some good passes here and there. That one to Garrett Wilson on the sideline, but for the most part, it felt like Rodgers and his receivers were not in sync. The ground game didn't do a whole lot, but for me, it was the takeaways, right? What the Broncos were able to do to flip the script a little bit on the Jets in the rain. Overall, a win is a win in the NFL, and no one should be, losing sleep or complaining that it wasn't a big enough win. 1-point victory on the road. You're getting by the skin of your teeth, but in those conditions against a Jets team that had won 2 in a row, I mean, hand up, definitely color me surprised. I did not think the Broncos were going to go on the road trip and rattle off 2 straight wins, but it's awesome to see. And now they get ready for a home matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders, who come off a 4-point win over the Browns. But Bo Nix, first passing touchdown, wide open, Cortland Sutton in the back of the end zone. So show the guy some love. Spam Bo in the comment section below for Nix finally getting that monkey off of his back. And what would be a kind of the game, every score mattered for the Broncos. So game-winning touchdown, game-winning field goal from Lutz, however you want to color it. That was obviously a huge play in a 10-9 game. And so for Nix to finally just not go into week 5, not go into October searching for his first touchdown pass. Terry Bradshaw, I did some research, has the NFL record for a rookie quarterback who started week 1 to go this far without his first touchdown pass and starting every single game. It took Terry Bradshaw, I think, 6 weeks to find touchdown pass number 1. We didn't want Nix to encroach in that territory, so he gets touchdown number 1. It's awesome that I went to Sutton, too, who's going to be hopefully a go-to target for him. But, yeah, this was a weird game with the weather and on the road for a second straight week and losing Tyler Badie so early on as well. And then the fumble going in with that as well. Like, weird game all around. Walking away from a weird game with a win, man, there's wins and then there's wins that you didn't really expect. And those wins feel probably 5 times better. Like when you're on the flight home going, not going to lie, didn't feel like that was our Sunday for much of the game. And then to turn it around late in the third quarter, defense making big stops, offense getting into scoring range, that's a win where you go, it wasn't pretty, but it was gutsy. Now, more thoughts on this win in just a moment here, but a quick shout out to our sponsor today, which is Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off. There's so many cool features to Game Time, like the all-in pricing option, which shows you the total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkout. All that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Taking a look at the two teams side by side here. I mean, the Broncos just, I guess on paper, outnumbered the Jets when it comes to their offensive production. Neither offense really impressed me, but again, I think, broken record, it's fair to chalk a lot of that up to the weather. It was just somewhat of a downpour, it felt like, I think, from start to finish. So to walk out of this game with the win, with that weather, that's a win in its own right. But to walk out of this 2-game road stretch where Sean Payton requested to have 2 games on the road back-to-back so they can stay at the Greenbrier Resort, that's the kind of win where you go like, okay, now you're really starting to put together a good amount of team bonding, some chemistry, and you're starting to feel like this is a team that feels like they can go somewhere, that they can believe, right? That they can achieve a postseason appearance and a playoff win or something like that. So, not a pretty game to go box score hunting. I do not recommend doing so, but overall, the defense made the plays it had to make, and sure, maybe a little bit of help from some missed field goals from the Jets, but it goes both ways. Neither kicker was perfect on Sunday, but Sutton hauling in. First off, remember that 3rd and 11 play over the middle in the second half to give the Broncos a big first down? Like, that was one of the plays of the game for sure, without a doubt, for Denver's offense. So Sutton coming up with 2 big grabs, the other one being, of course, the touchdown. And then everyone else, like, welcome to the party. Bo Nix had -7 yards, I believe, at halftime. So there was just not a lot going on through the air. And, hey, for a rookie quarterback in the weather, I'm not going to be, like, panicking over that or reading too much into it. This is just one of those weird, quirky stat lines where you go, oh, that was the monsoon game. Okay, well, at least they won that game because I feel bad for Jets fans. Like, sitting in the rain, awful. Sitting in the rain and watching them lose, even worse. Sitting in the rain and watching them lose to a team like they felt they were going to kind of beat up on, that's going to be a tough drive back to the Bronx or wherever they all came from. So how would you grade the Broncos today? A, B, C, D, or F? Give them a B. Like, they came out with a win. It wasn't all perfect. The offense didn't do much for much of the game. The defense made some big plays. They made some big stops, right? There were some unfortunate penalties that went against Riley Moss and the defense, but hey, PJ Locke, 4th and 10, safety blitz, and he blows up Aaron Rodgers for one of 5 sacks. I mean, that's one of the storylines of the day. Denver's pressure on Aaron Rodgers, just never letting him get comfortable, which I believe that was one of my keys to victory. Pressure Aaron Rodgers. Not because Aaron Rodgers is bad with pressure, but I wanted to pressure Nathaniel Hackett because he is bad when things aren't on schedule. So grade the Broncos today, A, B, C, D, or F. That will do it for us on our recap of this win. Denver improves to 2-2. They go back home. They take on a Raiders team that unfortunately has pestered the Broncos for, 5 years, ever since they left Oakland to move to Vegas. Like, it has been a one-sided affair. So hopefully this can be a game where the Broncos put a good show at home, get to 3-2 on the season, and start to look ahead a little bit to some big matchups coming up. Bo Nix, touchdown number 1. So congratulations to number 10, and a big congrats to this team. 2 wins on the road across the country. Big result for the Broncos. Hopefully they can start to rattle off a few more, and who knows, maybe even make the Chiefs sweat a little bit.